All right, we've got a breaking news story about Pete Hegseth and Elon Musk that I think deserves a lot more coverage from the media. But before we dig in, I want to say, ever since the election, I've been seeing more conservatives, more Trump voters viewing my videos. I see it in the comments and in the statistics, and I think that's good. I want to show the younger Trump voters who have been watching me that this has been a shit show, a dumpster fire of an administration, and they are firing on all cylinders to make it perhaps the worst admin in a while. And even if you want to push aside the numbers, like this poll that shows Trump has the lowest 100-day approval rating in 80 years, even if you don't believe that voters are not satisfied with Trump's unpredictable economic policies, they're worried about the lack of due process, they're worried about the fact that every time Trump posts or steps in front of a camera, he sounds like he's going through some sort of manic episode. Even if you want to push all of that aside, we can just look at Trump's nominees or the people that he appointed to key positions because they're all floundering as well. We've seen Pete Hegseth go through scandal after scandal after scandal, and Elon Musk himself is thinking of stepping out of politics. So to go back to what I was saying, I actually think it's good that younger Trump voters have been watching my videos. I think it's good that college-age students who are kind of right-leaning click on my videos to hear what I say. That's great. I'm glad you guys are here, and I want to use this opportunity to walk you through the facts of what's going on. I mean, for example, we have an article from the Wall Street Journal, which is broadly a center-right publication, maybe more centrist, but oftentimes they are more favorable to Trump than not. They said, Pentagon prepared briefing for Musk on top secret U.S. weapons for China war. Any Trump voter ever who voted against the ruling class and wanted to vote for the working people should be against the idea of the richest man in the world being able to buy his way into the White House, buy a social media platform and use that to spread propaganda that gets him into the White House. And then once he gets into the White House, he's taking calls with world leaders. He's taking meetings behind the scenes. I know the George Soros thing is very tired at this point. I know the comparison is tired. But just imagine if George Soros was standing there taking meetings with other countries or getting top secret meetings. But even beyond this, we'll come back to this because they had to cancel the meeting due to some blowback. Elon Musk also got in a shouting match recently in the West Wing. And you can see the point that I'm trying to make to any Trump voters watching time and time again. All of Trump's picks are in disarray. They're fighting with one another. Pete Hegseth seems drunk half the time with one sideburn shaved and one sideburn a little bit overly grown, but you can't have people shouting in the West Wing. Off the back of that, the richest man in the world is trying to get meetings, secret meetings, and then now Elon Musk says he's so offended he's going to go retreat in the shadows, leaving a lot of chaos in the wake. Like, read this. DOGE says it has saved $160 billion. These cuts have cost taxpayers $135 billion, and also the $160 billion figure isn't even real. So while Elon Musk buys his way into the government, while he's doing all of this stuff behind the scenes and gaining all of this power and this leverage, he's losing taxpayers' money. I mean, there are reports that DOGE saved about $45 billion once you take out the errors that Elon Musk put in the ledger. And it's like, and this is a failing business. This is a failing investment. If you have a business that makes $45 billion a year, but it costs $135 billion to run that venture in the same way that Doge cost $135 billion, you're operating at a loss. You don't have a successful business whatsoever, and this is the cabinet that Trump has assembled. Before I get on to the main story, let me just show you one more thing. Now Pete Hegseth is firing a lot of his longtime advisors en masse, like 4 or 5 of them at once. And then as they leave, he says terrible things about them. Like now he's saying that ex-Hegseth aides mudslinging ramps up with cocaine allegation. So Hegseth made the allegation that one of his aides did cocaine, and it's insane. It is complete insanity. It is a shit show of degeneracy and incompetency. And now that I've drawn this picture of shouting matches, of failures, of shit talking behind the scenes, check this out. The Pentagon prepared a briefing for Elon Musk on a top secret U.S. weapon made for a Chinese war. And Elon Musk has every single incentive to leak this data. Can Pete Hegseth not be sly in any way? I feel like I'm going to open the newspaper and see like Pete Hegseth went to the bathroom this morning and needed to publish it in the newspaper. He has no sense of privacy. Elon Musk has business ties with China. Like he's very, very vested in China's success long term. So the idea that Elon Musk wouldn't leak this, Top Pentagon aides were developing a briefing for Elon Musk last month on more than 24 highly classified weapons programs for fighting China until the department's top lawyer intervened, people familiar with the plan said. Acting Pentagon General Counsel Charles Young, it took Charles Young to do this, learned that a memo being drafted to show Musk contained information on 29 China-related special access programs. Young contacted a senior aide to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, who was traveling in Japan, to ask if the secretary had approved revealing China plans to the billionaire businessman. Quote, "The memo is on hold until you guys can get back and discuss," Young wrote in a text reviewed by the Wall Street Journal. Dude, Pete Hegseth actually greenlit this. Pete Hegseth is such an idiot. Musk never received the briefing. Of course, as I was saying, defense officials had been raising ethics concerns about presenting the information to President Trump's ally, in part because of his extensive commercial interest in China. I don't think Pete Hegseth or Trump or Elon Musk know what a conflict of interest is, or they actually view that as a good thing. They hear conflict of interest and they just hear the word interest. They're like, oh yeah, if it's my interest, of course I'm gonna like that. They don't understand checks and balances. It is also at odds with assertions by Hegseth and Trump that there were no plans to share China-related sensitive information with Musk. So now we have confirmation that there was a memo. It was approved by Pete Hegseth because he can't think more than 5 seconds down the road to his next shot. Sorry, no offense to people who have actually struggled with alcohol, but I mean, for real, it's not even a full joke. We don't want incompetent people who very likely are currently struggling with an alcohol problem running our Department of Defense. Quote, "Certainly you wouldn't show that to a businessman," Trump told reporters at the time about the initially planned China briefing. Quote, "Elon has business in China," he continued, adding that showing him military plans would be improper. Remember, Trump is a pathological liar who speaks out of both sides of his mouth. He will show Elon Musk business plans and then say that Elon Musk shouldn't see business plans. Musk went to the Defense Department in his capacity as the architect of the admin's government efficiency efforts, Trump said, and was not there for China. There is the plausible deniability. Some officials believed Hegseth had directed staff to compile the document on special access programs for Musk, but others claim that aides actually had just misunderstood a Hegseth directive and weren't actually supposed to be crafting this. I don't believe that for 1 second. You know what I do believe? That Elon Musk is smarter than Pete Hegseth. I know a lot of people in my comment section think Elon Musk is like a drooling idiot. No. Elon Musk is pretty savvy. I've heard behind the scenes he can be aggressive. And I mean, look how far he's gotten. He can be savvy behind the scenes. Pete Hegseth, on the other hand, he's probably closer to a little bit of a drooling idiot. I mean, he's slightly charismatic when he wants to be sometimes, if I'm going to be charitable. But Pete Hegseth totally is getting played by Elon. All Elon has to do is put a little bit of pressure on him, and Pete Hegseth folds like a rag doll and is like, sure, I'll give you highly classified sensitive documents. I can't think more than 10 seconds into the future. Hegseth has sought to force close relations with Musk, knowing the government efficiency chief had Trump's ear. That exactly backs up what I'm saying. Hegseth looks up to Musk, is trying to gain favorability because he sees Musk as a vehicle for getting in Trump's ear. Former government officials say there was no reason, zero reason Musk would need to know some of the most technical and closely guarded secrets about U.S. weapons. I mean, you don't have to be a former government official or a former intelligence community official to know that the richest man in the world with business ties in China shouldn't know this stuff, and I'll leave it at that. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe. I love you all. Thank you for helping build this beautiful community, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.